Welcome to Off the Turf with Raging Cajun Softball. I'm your host, Greg Larnard, where we get an opportunity to know some of the Raging Cajun softball players on the field as well as off. Let's meet our next guest. Happens to be Julie Rawls. What's up, Julie?
What's up?
So let's start this off. You are a senior this year. How weird is it to think that, man, I've played 4 years of college softball and I'm a senior this year?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It went by really, really fast, and I felt like when I transferred here, I kind of started over. So now that I'm a senior, I have to like really think about it and be like, wow, this is my last
So it doesn't feel like you're a senior?
No, it doesn't at all. I have to really think about it sometimes and like take it all in and be ready for what the season has to hold.
So one thing I've noticed about you, whether it's I'm watching highlights or I'm watching a game or I was at the games in Birmingham a couple of weeks ago, you're always smiling. Like, I don't care if you're catching or you're hitting or you're doing whatever you're doing, you're always smiling. Is that like something you're cognizant of, or is that just Julie Rawls is just how you are?
I really didn't notice it until last year. I think I was on deck one day and all the fans that sit on that side were just like, hey, Smiley, come on, Smiley. And I was thinking, like, what is this going on? And I came to the dugout and Coach Rob was like, oh, yeah, you're smiling all the time. And then,
so you don't even notice you're doing it?
No idea. And then we would get pictures back, or like we'd watch film, and like there's a camera in center field, and you can just see my smile when I'm catching.
You're behind home plate, and you're just sitting there and you're smiling every single pitch.
Yeah, I had no idea.
That's funny. What's your favorite thing about playing here at Lamson Park with the Raging Cajuns?
I think it's the crowd. Like, it's amazing. You can hear them the whole game, and they're just all in it. And then after the game, it's just like everyone waits for you after the game. You get to sign autographs, and like coming from where I came from, like it's just crazy. And you just feel like a real star out there, and they just make you feel at home. Yeah,
you transferred from Northwestern State. What was that transition like, having to play there? And you weren't like exceptional by any means. Like, you were a good player, but not like to where you are now with the Cajuns and how well you've been playing here. So what was the transition like from going from Northwestern State to here, and why did you choose here?
It was actually pretty tough. I had to like change my mentality because I was coming from a smaller school and I knew there was a lot more competition here. So I just had to have that mentality that I needed to get on the field and do whatever I had to do to play anywhere. And the transition here was it was great. I had a lot of good coaches, and then my teammates, they just really picked me up from day one, and we just learned from each other. And I learned so much about softball and myself, and I'm really glad that I got to come to this school.
So you went from, and I know this is well documented last year, you went from playing the outfield to coming behind home plate here. What was that transition like for you? And I know you've talked about it, and you're in year 2 now, and talk to me about how helpful it was to have Lacey Prejean, who's one of your assistant coaches who caught at Alabama, and then having a girl like Lexi Como, who was here last year, who was a senior, who I know really helped you along in that transition.
Yeah, the transition, it was tough at first, and I just had to open my mind to the game, and having someone like Coach Lacey, she just brought so much knowledge, and we worked every day, and we just took it step by step. We never leaped to something. We just took it by, like, if I was a 6-year-old and I was learning how to catch. And so we just did drill by drill, and I became comfortable, and Lexi Como, she really helped my transition. Like, she would just let me know, like, the things she would think of when she was catching, and it just really, like, brought into my game. And we just like kept building and building and building, and I think I still am building, and I still am like a student of the game. Like, every day I'm learning something new, and every game I'm learning something new, and it's great. It's a lot of fun.
It is fun, right? And that's something that's very underrated about being a player, whether in any sport, of just being a student of the game. So that's great. You're still continuing to learn even though you're a senior this year. So we're in the batter's box kind of right now. I don't know exactly where it is because we've got tarp on the field because we're expecting some rain at some point. So let's get in your stance. Show me what your stance looks like. Again, we have another lefty here, and we don't do anything but lefties, but show me what your stance looks like from the left side here.
See, I'm gonna kind of a wide stance with my leg cocked back for balance.
Okay.
Because I came in last year and we added a leg kick, and so.
Now, is that something that Coach Glasgow tries to get everybody to do a big leg kick and just get it really aggressive, or is that something that you're just comfortable with?
I think it's he likes the leg kick, but it's not for everyone. He likes to just like try it out, and if you like to go with it, then you go with it and you take it how you want.
So you didn't do that before you got here?
No, I did not.
Okay.
But
so why do you like it now?
I feel like I get a lot more power. I get to really focus on my legs.
Yeah.
And with my stance now, I keep my hands on my shoulder the whole time, and I just kind of took my hands out of the picture. Like, I don't really have to think about them. I trust my hands. If I'm getting my legs to where they need to be, my hands will go. And so, I start wide, so more of a balance thing. Last year when I was doing the leg kick, I really couldn't like get my sequence going right.
So you started last year where you were about even?
Yes.
And now you realized I couldn't do that, so you're like, all right, let's start wide open, get that leg kick, and then come back to close.
Yeah, my back leg's almost on the chalk line behind me.
That's cool.
And so yeah, it's a lot like a timing thing almost, like with the pitcher. And so like I get to like get a lot of movement before and just really focus on like my movement forward and like getting my legs going for that power.
All right, let's talk about your approach now in terms of what you like to do at the plate. When you step into the batter's box, what are you thinking about?
I'm just breathing, a lot of breathing and just slowing the game down. And you have to trust your preparation. It's all mental once you get in that box. Like you know how to hit, like your mechanics are there. It's really just knowing that you can get the job done and like everyone trusts you, you trust yourself. And so really for me, when I get in the box, I'm just breathing and then like I have an approach, whatever that game is, whatever that pitcher is. And I think a lot about my approach on deck or like before my bats even start. And so when I get there, it really takes the thinking away. I'm not a big thinker in the box, so I just like to see ball, hit ball. So that breathing really helps that.
How does Julie Rawls prepare for a game? Do you have any rituals, any superstitions or anything you think about or have to feel like you want to do before a game?
I don't have a lot. I get some cuts in on the tee. That's pretty much something I have to do before every game. But some superstitions I have with my hair. Like sometimes you'll see I have 3 bubbles in my ponytail. If that didn't work, I'll go with 4. If that didn't work, I'll just go with a straight ponytail. And I just kind of rotate those 3 and whatever works that day or that series, I just keep that going.
Cool. All right, so talk to me about somebody in your life, your softball life, that's been really influential to you.
I'd have to go with my mom.
Yeah.
She's a very strong woman, and like
I got a chance to meet her in Birmingham. She's strong and she's a fun woman.
Yeah, she's strong. She's outgoing.
Yes,
and, like,
very outgoing.
She just has taught me since I was young that you just have to work hard, and if you work hard, that it's going to pay off. And no matter what, I mean, she's a single woman. Like I've just seen her work so hard and be so successful, and so like I try to take that into my everyday life. And it's going to pay off.
That's great. Now, talk to me about a time that you faced adversity as a softball player in your life and how you overcame it.
I really think it's when I transferred. Like I came from that small school, and I really didn't have that much belief in myself. I was kind of scared at first, and like I got it here the first day, and I remember I called my mom, and I was like, "Mom, these girls are big. Like they're hitting the ball far. Like, I got to bring my game." And she was just like, "I believe in you. You got it." And so like, I feel like for the first 2 months, there was a lot of adversity, and I just had to trust in myself and learn like that I was the player that I am.
Yeah. It's a favorite softball memory that you can remember? I know there's probably got to be a lot of them, but is there anything that kind of stands out to you?
Honestly, I'd have to go with winning the Sun Belt Championship last year. Like in college, I never won anything, and I remember after we won and we were in the huddle, and me and Raina looked at each other, and she had came from Texas Tech, and we were just like, "Wow, we've never won anything. This is crazy." Like I know it's the culture here, but like we had never experienced it, and it was just crazy to us. Like we went undefeated. Like it was just that's a really good memory for me.
What about aspirations after softball? Like we talked about, you're a senior. I saw that you're a marketing major. Are you going to try to maybe continue softball afterwards, or do you want to get into something marketing-wise?
I've thought about the softball route, and then there's that USA baseball, the women's baseball team.
Yeah.
And me and Sarah are kind of thinking about that, and we've been in contact with some people, so that may be a route. Cool. And then for sure, though, I'm going to attend law school.
There you go.
And so, yeah, we'll see where that takes me.
Ooh, that's interesting. I have some friends that went through law school, and it's not an easy process, but it's definitely worth it. All right, let's go to our last one, our Junior Cajun Corner, where we give an opportunity to let our athlete talk about a tip where, you know, there's a lot of girls here that really look up to you guys. And so if you could tell a little girl who's playing softball right now, give her one piece of advice, what would it be?
I think that you just have to keep pursuing your dreams and working hard. Like there's a lot of people that get overlooked, and I was one of those people, and you just can't give up. You never know where the game's going to take you, and if you just have that hard work, you're just going to keep getting better, and you're just going to be a better person. And you just have to be a student of the game and respect. That's a big word. You have to respect everyone, respect the ball, respect the coaches, and life will work out for you.
And respect the game for sure, because the softball gods are always watching.
Yes,
Julie Rawls has been our guest here on Off the Turf with Raging Cajun Softball. Thanks so much, Julie.
Thank you.